Hello Magic players and welcome to your Core 2020 pre-release. I'm Serge and I'm going to be helping you with the mechanics of the new set. The new rule for mulligans is as follows. Each player draws 7 cards. A player who is dissatisfied with their hand may take a mulligan. To take a mulligan, a player shuffles their hand back into their library and then draws a fresh new 7-card hand. Then, the player who mulliganed puts a number of cards equal to the number of times the player has mulliganed onto the bottom of their library in any order. This means the first time a player takes a mulligan, they put 1 card onto the bottom. The second time, they put 2 cards onto the bottom, and so on. Protection is back. Starting with Core Set 2020, Protection is coming out of retirement and will be regularly appearing in sets again. Protection from X is a very powerful ability, which a lot of people misunderstand. If you've ever wondered how it works, remember this handy acronym, DET. D stands for damage. Damage that would be dealt by a source of that color is prevented. E stands for enchantments or equipment. Technically also fortified, but don't worry about that. So enchantments, equipment of that color can't be attached. B stands for blocked. Creatures can't be blocked by creatures of that color. And T stands for target. This permanent can't be the target of spells or abilities of that color. Keep in mind that protection only matters while the object is on the battlefield. Protection doesn't work while a card is in hand or in the graveyard. For example, a creature with protection from blue doesn't have protection from counterspells while it's on the stack. Sorry. If a permanent gains protection at instant speed, that may cause a spell or ability on the stack to have an illegal target. As a spell or ability tries to resolve, if all of its targets are illegal, that spell or ability doesn't resolve. Also note that if a creature has an aura or equipment attached to it, and later gains protection from that color, any auras or equipment will become unattached as a state-based action. Auras unattached this way will be put into the graveyard. Now, while protection is very powerful, there's a lot of things that protection doesn't protect from. For example, if you control a creature that has protection from white, and your opponent casts Wrath of God, your creature is still going to die. Why? Well, Wrath didn't deal damage, and it didn't target. So protection doesn't save that creature. Here's a different example. You control a creature that has protection from red, and your opponent casts Pyroclasm. This time, your creature is fine. Why? Well, even though it didn't target, this time Pyroclasm did deal damage, so protection will prevent all that damage. So what happens if I attack with a creature with Trample, and my opponent blocks with a creature that has protection from that color? Protection from damage only means that it will prevent all damage assigned to that creature. A 6/6 with Trample is blocked by a 2/2 with protection. The attacker must assign lethal damage to the blocker, and then can choose to divide the rest of the damage to the blocking creature and the defending player. So the defending player will take 4 points of damage. Here's another frequently asked question. If I attack with a creature with lifelink, and it's blocked by a creature that has protection from the color, do I still gain life? Nope. Lifelink reads, damage dealt by a source with lifelink causes that source's controller to gain that much life. Since protection prevents all combat damage, no damage is dealt, which means you won't gain any life. One last example. What if I control a creature that has protection from black, and my opponent has an effect that would make me sacrifice it? What happens? As long as the effect doesn't include a target, protection won't help that creature. You're still going to have to sacrifice it. Leylines are also making their return in Core 2020. They're an unusual cycle of enchantments with a powerful ability. If they're in your opening hand, you can put them onto the battlefield before the game even begins. A player's opening hand is the hand of cards the player keeps after mulliganing. If multiple players have actions that allow them to take action before the game starts, here's how that works. The starting player goes first. If they have multiple cards that require actions, they may be taken in any order. Then, each other player in turn order may do the same. Then the first turn starts. Since this action happens before the game begins, it can't be responded to. Thank you very much. Hope you have a great time playing and enjoy.